is like, whether that's your preference or not, like, what is the issue with black women?
That mock them by their names. I'm not down with the brown. Oh, all the black women, most of them are ratchet. Y'all don't realize that y'all are stereotyping, which is what caused this to be this divide in the country because of skin color. Knight Rider is a dumbed down, more cooler, not even cooler because it ain't cool, a more not disrespectful way to say nigga lover, fam. All of the things y'all are echoing out are things that the white people used to tell our people back in the day. Black people or dating somebody black is the only outside of your date's rating where it has a disrespectful moniker or term connected to it. You can date any other two races can date, and they don't have a term for it. But once a black, one of the people getting dated is black, you were a nigger lover. That's 100% correct. That's how it goes. Any other race, you don't have that.
Women with you put them in the same sentence with ratchet,
and you just put all these like blanket statements.
You can't. I don't fuck with that.
I couldn't believe it because that's exactly like if you were hanging out with a bunch of racist ass white dudes who thought that they were being funny, talking about. If you said that, you're dumb. Yeah. But you would expect to hear a racist white dude say that, right? It sounds kind of crazy because you're watching a fucking Muslim dude and a dude from Barbados have this conversation where they're kind of shitting on their own kind. I just can't believe that they would say that and not realize how bad the reaction was going to be.
Yeah,
you're not ratchet, right? So that's his perception of black people.
Yeah, and
not recognizing like there's a variety of women out there who are black who have a different experience. You don't encounter them fresh because you live in nightclubs. You live faking your lifestyle. You're constantly around women who are on IG. So of course there's going to again be a selection bias, right? Where the only type of women you're going to meet are ratchets. You get what I'm saying? It's like and I think it's so funny that Fresh says this stuff. It's like, but the one girl he wanted to wife out turned out to be a sugar baby who's coaching women on how to fucking play men. It's just funny to me that these guys talk like this.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. I said certified freak. 7 days a week. There's some wet ass P words.
I know what it is. Men can have standards.
Exactly. That's the reality. So,
So I really wanted to show those clips to let women know that even from different genres of YouTube, that men, black men specifically, truly stand up for you guys and things like that. There are black men on this platform that see your value and don't hate you or would date you and things like that, right? But I want to take the time out to also talk about preference, okay? And so when you're talking about preference, a preference in totality doesn't have anything to do with necessary race, okay? And when it does, if it does have anything to do with race, it's not about belittling the other race, right? For example, if black people procreate with black people, because we are in minority, we're a minority group, and so in order to continue our span and our lifespans and our generations and our culture that we've also lost due to slavery, due to generations of slavery, we procreate with each other. And that's really why I'm not mad at a white person because they want to procreate with another white person. I'm not mad with a Hispanic person because they want to procreate with another Hispanic person. That's not even frowned upon really in their culture or anything like that. I do believe in loving who you want to love. Absolutely. If you're interracial, do it. But I also see why other people procreate within their own circles. It makes sense. But here's when it jumps over the preference and into the belittling. When you go, I date black women or white women because, or I date Hispanic women or Asian women because, you're not dating them because of anything. You actually should like that woman. You should love that woman for who she is. She could go to sleep Asian, wake up black. As long as she's doing the same shit that she was doing yesterday, that you fell in love with, you should be able to do it to. You should be able to love her today, in the same breath. And I also want to tell women that being honest, this is not the first time I've seen or heard of guys like a Fresh and Fit. Never in my life. I used to meet dudes all the time, dudes that mostly, date outside the race and things like that. And they do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're not accepted in their community. Fresh actually said something, and I don't know if people heard it, but Fresh actually said something that was very eye-opening. His first girl was a white girl. Barbados is majority black, okay? And he talked about the tourism. He's always talking about the tourism. That nigga wasn't accepted by Barbados women. He was probably perceived as not a good man to Barbados women. That's why he doesn't really correlate with that stuff. He also says a couple of other things that lets you know that he's just not accepted. Same thing with Myron, big dog. He says he's never been in a real relationship. Big dog, if you ain't never been in a real relationship, I don't know how you on that podcast giving advice and spitting game and telling people about game and things like that, because only until you've been in a real relationship that you can even speak on an experience. JT from JT's Real Reacts, the guy, he said something very profound when he was talking about another guy that was in his profession. He said there's a difference between the field agents and the people that just study, okay? And Myron Gaines is a studier. He's a guy that's going to be building the philosophy for young men. He's just building something off of what he sees, also off of anger for not having the sex that he probably wants, not getting the women that he wants. And then you also have the field agent. These are guys that are in the field. They're talking to women. They're connecting with women. They're getting rejected. They're getting accepted. They're seeing what they can do for women. They're seeing what they can't do for women. And most of those guys are really good at actually talking to women. They're not normally on, too many podcasts or anything like that. They know how to talk to women. They don't need a Kevin Samuels. They don't need a Fresh and Fit. They don't need none of those guys. You get what I'm saying? And they also see these guys as dorks. They're dorks, okay? Just letting y'all know, man. I just wanted to really show black women that you are loved, you are accepted, and things of that nature. And don't let dorks like this tell you guys your worth. Don't let these dorks, right? And that's any woman, big dog. I don't care about, whether they sit on a podcast or not, surrounded by drunk women, that really hold no substance to themselves out there. So, just letting women know in general, not just black women, but this is for black women. That, man, don't let these niggas out here tell you your worth and things like that. It's beyond you. Let them have their, talk to their audience who probably haven't seen pussy since the day they came out. All right. So let them have that shit and keep it rolling, man. Like, subscribe, comment. Peace out.